Welcome everybody to the week ahead for financial markets. Mike Smith, Senior Analyst and Head of Client Education and Trading for Go Markets with you to lead you around what's happening this week that may impact on market sentiment. So there are 5 market moving factors we're going to quickly discuss this week. The first of these is that US inflation is in focus. Both the CPI and the PPI are due this week out of the US. And of course, that will have influence on the Federal Reserve for rate cuts going forward. At this stage, there is an interest rate meeting next week where the expectation is of another 0.25% cut. After that, if we look into January, the feeling is that there may only be a 25% chance of another cut should the Fed cut on the next meeting. So markets are a bit in the balance as to whether this will continue or whether the Fed will take a pause. So this week's CPI data may well impact on that market perception, hence may move markets significantly. It's not just the Fed that's in focus, of course, there are other global central banks to make decisions. And this week we have both Europe and Australia central banks delivering their rate decision. It is expected that the Eurozone may well cut by 0.25%, but no such expectation from the Reserve Bank in Australia, who are expected to keep things as they are into the new year. It will be a massive surprise if there's any change in the latter. One interesting thing that is worth bearing in mind that sometimes does move markets is that periodically the indices reconstitute, i.e., some companies will be removed and some companies will be added. Theoretically, that adds points to the index because those stocks which are stronger are brought into the index and those which are weaker are removed. So this happens on Friday, and this rebalancing may well help the Nasdaq push to new records, depending, of course, on which stocks are chosen to be in or out. Oil continues to be in decline. We did have OPEC Plus meeting, but that meeting has not resulted in any stability in oil price. If we have a look at an oil chart, you can see there we are resembling a descending triangle sort of pattern where we get these lower highs and a key level to the downside, which is just sitting around about 66.84 at this stage on the WTI futures contract. A breach of this level would be significant. Let's just move it down a little and then take it out to a weekly chart. And you can see the importance of this level. We touched it not only in December 2023, but also in the early part of 2023. So this is of vital importance technically. If we should breach it, it hasn't done this since August 2021. And that's why some were surprised that OPEC weren't a little more aggressive when they met. So watch that line in the sand there. It could be interesting. Either way, we could see a bounce off it yet again, as we have done the last few times it's touched it, or indeed that breach will precipitate some more selling. And of course, we did talk last week about Bitcoin $100,000 level. This key psychological level for markets is under significant pressure. We saw last week this level being tested. And is this the precursor to a proper push through this week? Let's just have a look at the chart and show you what we mean. Here's the Bitcoin chart, and you can see that push up to $100. We did actually have a high of 104.28 before dropping back down significantly in that session. Another test there on the 6th and 7th, respectively. So we're just poised underneath that level. Not surprisingly, we're pausing there. It is a psychological level of some importance, just being at such a round number. And so we'll watch that in the early part of the week to see if there's any momentum to push this through. So those are your 5 key things to watch out from markets, as well as the standard data that is always out. And don't miss, of course, our daily live market updates and chart of the day at 12:30 p.m. every day. It'd be great to see you there if you can make it along. We look at multiple asset classes, including indices, commodities, Bitcoin, as well as the ASX in that session to find a chart for each. And of course, we have our Inner Circle trading education, 8 p.m. every Wednesday. We're always here from you if you need anything. just connect with our support team who will be delighted to help you. Have a great week ahead. Trade safe and see you again soon. Bye bye for now.